Welcome back, everybody. It's time for more of this. Chapter 4. They just blow her up. That's pretty much the gist of the chapter. So, the chapter starts with Theresa talking about how she likes to go shopping at some store that's several miles away because she doesn't have to deal with traffic or something. And then she's abducted by the military, and they put her on a helicopter and start bringing her somewhere. And eventually she finds out that, yeah, they're just going to kill her. And she's like, oh, well, why wouldn't you shoot her? Because that would be, easier. And she surmises that this is to do something with, the thing inside her. So now we're talking about that again. Except that we don't have any reason to think that it would be that. And none of the government guys who kidnapped her and have her on a helicopter seem to know about this thing. Or what it can do. Or for what reason they don't just, kill her. They know she's going to die. They know that. But not why they shouldn't just, pop and it's over. I have no idea why that was being kept from them, and I have no idea why they wouldn't question that. Because I know even if you have military orders, you still are just like, yeah, but why though? Because that's a natural part of being a human. But we have to remember, these people are not people, they're props to talk about how great Theresa is. And so, they go on the longest journey, going from one airport to another, because the plan to destroy Theresa is this. They're going to bring her out into the Pacific Ocean on an aircraft carrier, put her in a fancy remote-controlled jet, shoot it several miles into the air, and then blow it up with a literal atomic bomb. I'm serious. Okay. So there's several things wrong with this. One, why would you do that? You have no reason to do that. Her summation in this is that, well, they don't know how Hal would react, and it may do something bad. And it's like, yeah, you're right, they don't know that, which would be why they would continue to study you. There is zero reason for them to try and kill her right now. None. At all. Period. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But let's just say, for some reason, let's just fucking go out on a limb and say, for some reason, the president decides, hey, this bitch gonna die. That's we gotta do it. We gotta put her down. That's the bottom line, okay? And let's just say it's the defense secretary. And the defense secretary is like, oh, but we can't do that, Mr. President. We don't know, we don't know if we shoot her, if she'll just get mad like the Hulk, or she'll just straight up fucking explode. So then the president's response, like a normal person, would be, well, find out. Study this shit. We need to know that. Is there any way we can figure that out? Can we talk to some fucking scientists? Can somebody come up with a reason? I can't come up with a reason off the top of my head right now, but I'm fairly certain that there are far better educated people than me in the comments right now who are probably thinking up 50 different ways that you could test this theory, because that's how badly this shit is written. YouTube comments probably have better answers than the actual fucking book. But no, they're gonna put her on a fancy remote control plane, shoot her into the stratosphere, and then blow it the fuck up with an atomic bomb. And the reason I keep saying fancy remote control plane is because Norman seems to be under the impression that autopilot has the capability of doing all of the things. The landing, the taking off, all of the things. It doesn't, really. It doesn't. I know what most autopilot does. I'm not a pilot, but I understand, there's two different modes on most autopilot devices. There's bearing and there's GPS. And bearing is if you set your plane to south-southwest. It will continue south-southwest, staying as level as possible at the altitude you put it at as it can. That's all that computer is designed to do. It is designed to watch two lines. The line it's going towards, and the line that it needs to keep the plane level. GPS is slightly more complicated. Once the plane is in the air and at a stable point, you can set the GPS system to do this, and the plane will then calculate, okay, we're going from Atlanta to Hartford, Connecticut. Cool. That is like this. I'm going to have to turn slightly like this. I have this much fuel. I need to keep this level. The plane weighs this much. It's very, sophisticated, but at no point in time can these things land or take off the plane. That's a little more complicated than that. That takes a lot more feel and intuition, from what I understand. And who knows? Maybe now, maybe in this day and age, maybe in the year of our Lord 2020, there are computers on planes that can do exactly that. This book was published in 2016, and I don't think those existed in 2016. And if they did, I seriously doubt they would be putting them in a fighter jet, which is designed to, move rapidly and engage in very erratic patterns. A fighter jet probably does have some form of autopilot so that the pilots don't have to sit there and watch every little thing while they're doing something. But you don't really need, the most sophisticated one, because you kind of, military trained a motherfucker to do that. That's his job. That is what he spent the last, 5,000 hours in a simulator learning how to fucking do. But I'm harping on the autopilot thing for a bit because the rest of this chapter is really fucking stupid. So let's talk about this. Theresa gets this brilliant idea while she's at a cafeteria. They just have her in a military cafeteria. There's nobody else around. For a prisoner, they treat her more like a house guest, because she's a Mary Sue. And they just bring her to this big military cafeteria, which they cleared out, but left food for her. So she has this food, and then she takes the garbage bag out of the garbage can, because there's no garbage in it, but she takes the big bag and just fills it full of these little Coke bottles, and then carries that from that building on 2 different plane flights and into the cockpit of the fighter jet. I don't think Norman is aware of the space inside of the cockpit of a fighter jet. I don't think Norman is completely aware of how big that really is. So first off, let's just go with the physical. I'm not a fighter jet expert, but I'm fairly certain that in the cockpit of your fighter jet, you don't really have room for a fucking 5-gallon trash bag full of Coke bottles. Mainly because, why the fuck would you need that? Fairly certain the Air Force wouldn't really bother to design something like that. Ah yes, the F-22. Gotta make sure we have storage space behind the seat for that giant bag full of Coke bottles that every pilot just carries with them. What? Secondly, the reason she does this is because they give her a flight suit, because it gets really cold the higher up you go. You're gonna kill her. Why do you care? It doesn't make any sense. If this is an execution, why does it matter if, she has the proper equipment to operate the plane? She's not operating the plane. She's not going to need to do that. This is the same thing as, instructing the death row inmate how to use the lethal injection machine. Why the fuck would they need to do that? They're not going to do it. They don't need to know that. They know you're going to kill them, but that's the only thing they really do need to know. And, so yeah, they give her the suit, and the entire point of this is so that she can take the bottles and empty them out just on the plane. See, I had assumed when she first said that she just had the bag full of bottles that she just drank all the Coke in the several hour period between waiting to do one thing and another. But oh no, wait. She's thin, pretty, beautiful Mary Sue. She doesn't drink soda. Ridiculous. No, she takes these bottles and makes sure to empty them all out on the plane, and then takes little pieces of the trash bag and closes the cap around it, because that makes an airtight seal. Okay. I mean, we're just going to go with one logistic nitpick that I have right here. Coke bottles already have an airtight seal. They have to. That's how the carbonation doesn't get out. And I know, it was like, oh, but you open it and you breach the seal. It's like, no, the seal's still there. You just have to, like, twist it really tight. I can do that. I'm not even, like, super powered. Like, you know, Mary Superman over here. She's got super strength. Which, the super strength comes into it because they put her into this thing. They strapped her down with, like, the 5-point harness that the jet fighters all have. But she can't unbuckle it, you know, because they're strapping her to a bomb, basically. And she just rips the seatbelt off. She just pulls on it. And then she sticks the empty bottles in the suit. And then zips up the suit. And then just jumps out of the plane. Yeah, she busts the hatch open. And then jumps out of the plane. Okay, a couple things. At the time she jumped out of the plane, she describes it as being able to look down and see a bunch of the clouds. And all these other things. So, and she's falling for a very long time from the way she described it. I don't remember. She said the exact altitude at one point. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there's a lot of weird... 47,520 feet. No, I'm sorry. 54,140 feet is when she jumps out of the plane. I don't know how many feet up you have to be for the oxygen to get really thin, but they did give her an oxygen mask, which means they expected at some point she would be high enough to not have air. But why am I questioning this? Because she's Mary Sue, and it's fine. So she jumps out of the plane, and there's this big dramatic thing about flipping and falling and, oh, you know, doing all this so that she can hit the water and somehow maybe survive this but not be blown up. But then she talks about how the plane exploded behind her, and it was so bright that even though she covered her eyes, she could see the flash. You're facing away from it, from the description. You saw the flash. It's an atomic explosion. If you can see the flash like that, and you're not even looking directly at it, something tells me you weren't that far away from it. Which means she probably should have been nuked. Or at least the shockwave should have hit her and thrown her off some kind of course and done something. But no, there was no shockwave. The nuclear blast just goes off and it's really bright, and it doesn't even make a sound. There's no sound. It just happens. And then it's gone. That doesn't matter anymore. And she just hits the ocean. And then she's all like, everything's really cold because we're south of the equator and it's freezing. And then she passes out. And the whole time she's like, and then I'm going to die. Except that we know that this is a fucking scapegoat and that she's not dead for two reasons. One, she's Mary Sue. Mary Sues don't die unless it's in a poignant, very important bullshit manner. And two, there are 28 chapters in this fucking book, and we're on chapter 4. No, she's not dead. She's gonna survive. Something stupid's about to happen. I'm predicting it. I'm predicting something stupid is gonna be how I open the next video. You fucking watch. You fucking watch, because that's what's gonna be. It's gonna be me pissed off about something incredibly dumb, and that's how we're gonna start the next video. I am willing to fucking bet. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for being here. And if you're enjoying this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you could, please donate to Patreon. I don't do the YouTube money thing, so there are no ads, and that's how I get paid, because I like to say fuck. And YouTube don't like it when I do that. Also, I have a merch store if you'd like to buy stuff, you know, from there. I have a lot of cool stuff in there. I bought like a water bottle a while back. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, I love you all so very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Oh god, this book never ends. Goodbye!